Mabel Elizabeth Washington lit up both stage and screen, leaving lasting memories in the realm of performing arts. From smoky nightclub stages to the grandeur of Broadway, and from iconic film roles to unforgettable TV moments, her life's narrative unfolds. Born on Christmas Day in 1932 in Charleston, South Carolina, and raised in Harlem, New York City, alongside her mother and younger sister, Mabel began performing as a nightclub singer in Harlem's most popular bars and cabarets, including Small's Paradise and Lenox Lounge. In 1967, she made her Broadway debut at the St. James Theater in Midtown Manhattan in the musical romance Hello, Dolly. While the original production opened in 1964, it made history when it was recreated featuring an all-black cast with Pearl Bailey taking over the title role. This melodrama marked Mabel's first collaboration with Thalmus Rasulala, but it wouldn't be their last, as he would later characterize her ex-husband and father of her two children on What's Happening.
Got my little girl all upset. Come here, baby.
Roger, run upstairs and get your new journal so you can prove to Dee that this whole thing was a terrible joke.
Okay.
Subsequently, she displayed her artistic talents in other Broadway successes such as Don't Play Us Cheap and The Wiz. In that same year, she tied the knot with her longtime beau, Melvin King. She already had a son from a previous relationship with New York-born bass singer Larry Banks. Mabel not only depicted mothers in various parts throughout her career, but she also embodied the role of a loving mother and devoted wife in her real life. This was an affirmation to the warmth and compassion evident in both her art and personal relationships. In 1973, she made her big screen debut appearing in the movie version of Don't Play Us Cheap, and she secured a role in the film Ganja and Hess, which denoted a significant start to her career. In 1976, she teamed up with legends Billy Dee Williams, Richard Pryor, and James Earl Jones in the highly entertaining sports comedy The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. Here, she personified the character of Bertha DeWitt, infusing candid wisdom and giving assertive, no-nonsense instruction.
Use a little starfish, you behemoth!
Fool, that embalming fluid done gone to your brain. Now, gentlemen, Sally Potter's plans failed. And we better book us some extradition games or we all go broke. That's right.
But it was her role as Mabel Thomas on the sitcom What's Happening that firmly endeared her to the hearts of fans. From its premiere in 1976 until the conclusion of its second season, she offered guidance and humor to the Thomas family as Raj and Dee's divorced mother. She provided invaluable advice and heartfelt pep talks to all the characters when they needed it most. During her time on the show, she notably portrayed Madam Amy in her third movie, Scott Joplin, which chronicles the life story of the famed ragtime composer and pianist. The reason for her absence in the third and final season of What's Happening has been the subject of conflicting stories. Some sources suggest it was due to disagreements with the show's creators over the direction of the series, while others point to a salary dispute as the cause. Regardless, producers were compelled to write her character out by crafting Season 3 with a new dynamic. Mabel's character moved to Arizona to tend to a sick relative, while Shirley now resided at the Thomas home as Dee's guardian, and Raj had his own apartment, which he shared with Rerun. Exiting the sitcom in 1978, she discovered a stream of opportunities in films, on stage, and on television. She even became a contestant on a TV game show hosted by Gene Rayburn, a position he held for over 2 decades. In the midst of her busy professional life, she faced wellness issues, including a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes as her weight had climbed to 296 pounds.
She cried.
She cried.
She cried.
Can't do that, eh?
What is the matter, my darling?
She donned the iconic duty of Eveline, the Wicked Witch of the West in the fantasy film The Wiz. With her commanding presence and distinctive voice, she brought a touch of wickedness, particularly with her performance of the song No Bad News, that made her unforgettable in the Land of Oz.
No bad news, no bad news, no bad news. Now don't you ever bring me no bad news.
In the hilarious comedy The Jerk, she and Richard Ward played Steve Martin's adoptive parents, delivering her lines with impeccable precision.
Navin, you're not our natural-born child.
I'm not.
You were left on our doorstep. But we raised you like you were one of us.
Broadway called once more, this time at the Martin Beck Theater for 23 previews and 8 performances in the musical It's So Nice to Be Civilized. The early 80s brought her roles in the Gong Show movie, a slapstick comedy depicting a week in the life of creator and host Chuck Barris, adding another feather to her cap, and Getting Over, a tuneful drama in which she played Mabel King. Nevertheless, as the 80s advanced, her health issues began to compound. Diabetes took its toll, forcing her to have a toe amputated after a wound affected the bone, damaged the tissue, and restricted blood flow. Meanwhile, her son Larry struggled with drug and alcohol addiction, a heavy burden for any mother to bear, and her 22-year marriage came to an end. In spite of these formidable obstacles, she continued to push forward, and in 1988, she took on a role as the mother of Alfre Woodard's character in the film Scrooged. Additionally, she made appearances on multiple television series.
I seem to understand. She has powers.
I don't need my powers to chop you down, you pigeon of a man!
I call upon the spirits of my grandmother.
You come and clean later, okay?
Yes, wonderful idea, you bet. But why work when we can have so much fun? What you say? Will Alani make you very happy?
Lance, Dennis, come here and meet Jennifer.
They're doing boy stuff, Missy. You just go ahead and go to work. I'll find you little fellas, okay?
In 1990, she featured in the film Dead Men Don't Die, which stands as one of the last times she was seen on screen. Sadly, it seems that the rest of the decade dealt its cruelest blows. She suffered a stroke that her body was slow to recover from. The relentless impact of diabetes forced her into a difficult decision. She had her lower limbs amputated as neuropathy had caused irreversible numbness in each leg less than 3 years apart. Dialysis became her lifeline, with her kidneys functioning only at 15% capacity. Another heartbreaking event occurred when her only son passed away. As her final resources diminished, and with the need for round-the-clock care, she was confined to the Motion Picture and Television Country House in Woodland Hills, California, about 5 miles from her own residence. The last few months of Mabel's life were filled with a cascade of ailments. She grew progressively weaker and fatigued easily. Her urine output decreased, and her breathing became noisy and labored. Ultimately, when dangerous levels of fluid built up in her body, she was admitted to the Kaiser Foundation Hospital. It was there that she passed away from end-stage renal failure on November 9, 1999. Mabel King's portrayal of the characters she brought to life will forever remain a profound contribution to Black entertainment. As we celebrate this extraordinary woman, let us recognize her not just for her immense talent, but also for the kindness she extended to all whom she encountered. True greatness is not solely measured by one's achievements, but also by the love and empathy we share with others on our life's journey. Thanks for watching.